everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode. I'm your host, James. Alongside me, always, his name is...
I'm Andy.
And join us on this journey as we all become legend of the nerds. Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
How are you?
Oh, it's just one of those days. I had to go do blood work today, so...
Getting blood done, huh?
Yeah, so not a big fan of needles.
Did you get a cookie after?
No. What I hate is you have to fast for 12 hours. So what I usually do is I'll eat dinner, and then from dinner till bedtime, you're not really eating, and then you sleep throughout most of the fasting. Well, about 12:30 hit, and I got the munchies, so I went and had some chips and stuff. So now I had to start fasting at 12:30 at night, meaning when I wake up in the morning, I still can't have breakfast. Not until 12:30 in the afternoon. I get there, they ask me, so have you been fasting? I go, yeah, since 12:30 and last night. You've been fasting, and now it's about 1:30, somewhere around there. You've been fasting for that long? That's too long. I'm like, thought it was supposed to be 12 hours. Well, they recommend 12, but you could do 8 too. I'm like, I don't know, last time they told me 12, so, yeah. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta go get the blood work done, all that stuff, so. I hate it. I hate needles.
Yeah.
I think it's like once a year, some kind
Much
of
like Goku, he hates needles.
There you go.
Get back to work tomorrow, are we?
Yeah.
Vacation over for you, huh?
I was supposed to go back today, but being the fact I had to go to the doctors and everything. So, yep, back to work tomorrow. And it's a short week because I didn't go today, obviously. Mm-hmm. And then Friday, we have half a day.
Why?
So... the kids were supposed to get out the Friday before spring break. They were supposed to have the day off.
Yep.
Because it was in service. But because we have to make up like 4 snow days they've had, if you go to school for half a day, that counts as a full day. So they decided to make the kids come in that day.
Is that why they're not good at math?
Maybe. That's why
Since when does half a day equal a full day? Are we just rounding up now?
Well, no, that's how it's always been since I was a kid.
Really?
If you've been in school for half the day, it qualifies as a full day.
Well, back in the 80s, if you miss a full day, guess what? You go for a full day.
So they had half a day then, and because Friday is no school because it's parent-teacher conference all day, they're coming in for half a day that day too. So
that's all kinds of messed up.
Yeah, I'd rather go in for half a day and get paid than not go in any time and not get paid.
So you go in for half a day. Do you get paid for a full day?
No, I only get half the day money.
Oh, see, that's a ripoff. The kids get credit for a full day, but you don't?
Exactly. I will say, BFA, though, they had me come in for a full day, but they told me to go home halfway through the day because they didn't need me after. Mm-hmm. But they paid me for the full day because it was on record that I was supposed to work for the full day. So.
Well, that was very kind of them.
Be kinder if I got paid more. How come MVU and Swanton gets $100 and we only get 75?
Oof.
So
I don't know, man.
But yeah, back to school tomorrow. So yeah, it's okay to go back in, but it's nice being on vacation. But it sucks not making any money.
Yeah, I bet.
So, we'll see. It depends on where they put me. If they put me in the areas I don't want to go into, then it's a horrible day. Moving on, spring break's over with.
Spring break is over.
6 or 7 more weeks till summer break.
Is that it?
Yeah, because they get done, what? Well, they get done halfway through June, but we still got to make up, I think, a couple more days of snow. So it's like 2.5, 3.5 weeks into June. But, so yeah, so you got all of May, and then 2 or 3 more weeks in June.
That is crazy how time just flies by.
Mm-hmm. I got to find me some work, though.
Yeah.
If you're all watching out there, I'm looking for a job. Moving on, though, enough about me. How about you? Anything interesting with those 2 stores to be named later that are closing?
That store, actually, one store closed down last Friday.
The Essex or the Shelburne Road?
Shelburne Road store.
Okay, that's the one near Buffalo Wild Wings and all that, right?
Yeah. Shaw's parking lot area. Yep. Finally done. I finished that store on Saturday.
Okay.
Did all the pickup, cleanup. Boxed up, shipped out.
It must be fun having to travel back and forth to 2 different stores.
Not anymore. I'm done now.
I don't know, but
back to one store. So.
And now that one's closing though too, right?
I don't know. No word. No word on it.
Watch it be a surprise one day. You come in and you can't get in, and you can't get into the store.
Yeah, right. I'm expecting that to happen.
Now, what is it too? The one here in St. Albans, when it's closed, they took everything, but they still left the sign up.
Yeah, the sign's still there. Yeah.
Take the sign. It's like,
I have no idea.
to me, if I'm the owner of the building, I'd be like, you need to take everything. Shouldn't be my responsibility to take down your sign.
Right.
But
But that's what it goes.
it's a dying business.
That's the work life. But the personal life got a little better. I finally got the Switch, Andy.
Oh,
Got the Nintendo Switch finally.
yes. Isn't that tax money?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tax money at hard work right there. It is fantastic. It's everything I ever thought it would be.
It's well worth the hype.
It is well worth the hype. The dashboard, it's clean. It's easy to handle. You know, it's not too hectic at all. Gameplay is fantastic. I have Breath of the Wild. I have new Mario Kart Deluxe. And I bought something off the eStore. Blaster Master Zero.
Okay.
The original game came out in like 86 or something like that.
Yeah, because I remember you mentioning this on Facebook if anyone's played it yet. So
And it's just like the original, and it's so fun.
I've been tempted, I think, because I don't get to play any of my systems that much anymore. But the Wii is sitting there in the living room. And I'm like, just sitting there one day. And I think it was for Mario Kart I saw on TV. And I thought to myself, I go, I really have the ankling to play Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 2 again.
Yeah.
And I know you can go online on there and buy the games, even on the regular Wii. And I'm like,
Yep.
I'm tempted to go on. So I might hook it up somewhere down the road here.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
But it's real fun. You gotta come over and check it out one of these days.
Oh, I will, definitely.
It's definitely an investment well worth it.
Now, I just want to stay on this topic for one more thing. I was asking you about Legend of Zelda game, and we all know there was the massive hype over it because the graphics look so amazing. And now you've played it,
Yep.
and you were telling me that it was. It's not overrated. It's basically what they advertise is what you're getting.
It's everything plus some. I mean, when they say open world, they mean open world.
Now, where-
I have not found an area I could not go yet.
Where are you putting this on your? You've played every Zelda game there
Yes.
is. Where are you putting this on your list of?
Going this far in, it's probably my third favorite Zelda game so far.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now is Ocarina of Time above that somewhere?
Always number one.
Same here.
Ocarina of Time, always number one, and Twilight Princess number two. Because Twilight Princess was a good, solid Zelda game.
Now, because they have the Twilight Princess, I think, was it for the GameCube?
That was count for the Wii.
Okay, because I was going to say the Wii, I know they came out with it, but I don't know if it was a little different than the GameCube one, or...
I think if they did put it on the GameCube, it's probably the same game.
Okay.
Just less graphical.
I believe it came out twice, that's why.
It came out once for the Wii and one again for the Wii U.
Okay. I'm trying to think what I'm thinking of in the GameCube then.
Ocarina of Time came out on GameCube.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's...
That game came out with a special Master Quest, too.
Okay.
So Ocarina of Time is like twice as hard. Yeah. I mean, this game, it's amazing. You don't actually have a weapon in it. You gotta pick up weapons, and they break all the time. You gotta fight. You can fight with anything. I got into a kitchen, got a soup ladle, and I'm running out in the field just beating goblins with it.
Oh, jeez. You still get the horse?
They're all wild horses. You gotta tame them.
Okay.
You gotta catch them and tame them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, timeline for this Legend of Zelda. Is it a specific timeline? Like, I know a lot of the games are different timelines, but they don't always continue in a timeline. Sometimes they're prequels and sequels.
I'm
and
not
all
sure
this.
what game it goes off of, but it's supposed to be 100 years in the future.
Okay. So you're not the Link of, like, Ocarina of Time kind of thing, or...
The storyline is,
Because it's probably towards,
you
like,
have
Skyward.
a battle with Ganon.
Okay.
You lose, and somebody comes, saves you, and puts you in, like, a hyperbolical time chamber
Okay, so you could be.
to heal for 100 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to remember where Skyward Sword, I know that's set way in the future.
Yeah, Skyward Sword. The Zelda games go off like a tree branch, you know? There's different, like DC's different Earths, you know? Like, Earth 1, Earth 2. There's, like, Hyrule 1, Hyrule 2, you know?
Yep.
So, I'm not really sure what game it's supposed to come off of. walking on Hyrule, the landscape does not look familiar yet from any other game I played.
Yeah. No, definitely have to give it a whirl.
It's definitely fun, man. It's definitely fun.
Cool beans. But let's jump back on to our main topics here.
Some wrestling talk?
Let's do some more.
Wrestling
Not
talk.
a lot of wrestling talk, but we have Payback. That was just last night. You and I will be watching it later on tonight after we're done here.
Yep.
So I've been doing my best. I actually jumped onto Facebook last night, and I'm like, wait. Pushing the X button on my computer to not let it load on because take a chance of seeing what the results would be.
You don't want that.
So there's only a little bit. Starting with WWE. Monday Night Raw, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. We have a Braun Strowman versus Big Show match. And Braun superplexes Big Show off the top rope. Ring. Blows up.
Again?
Again.
Why do they keep doing that
I
gimmick?
don't know why they keep doing it. It's like, whoop-de-doo. It happened the one time when it was Brock and Big Show. Now I feel like they think they have to do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's I'm a Big Show fan. I've been a Big Show fan my entire wrestling lifetime of watching wrestling. But it's just like, whoop-de-doo. It's so predictable. It's like,
And of course,
woo.
was it the main event?
Yes, that's how the show ended.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, really? The big thing to come out of wrestling in WWE, though, to me, is Smackdown. Now, there's a reason I have Smackdown versus Raw here on the front table.
There it is.
Because ever since the brand split, Raw and SmackDown have been competing against each other for ratings, just like the whole WWE, WCW thing. And to me, SmackDown has put on such a better show than Raw, and Raw gets an extra hour each week. And it's things like this that I'm going to say are what are making SmackDown better than Raw. Raw is more predictable, with the whole Big Show thing, for instance.
Yeah.
Whereas SmackDown, you don't know what's going to happen. And this is what happened. They had a six-pack challenge to determine who will be the number one contender for the world title.
Okay.
Six-pack challenge, if no one knows what it is, it's just like a fatal four-way or a triple threat. It's just six guys in the ring. Whoever gets the first pinfall or submission wins. I'm trying to remember exactly who was in this match, but you had some decent names in there, like Dolph Ziggler, for instance. And then you had some not-so-big names like Mojo Rawley, who won the Andre the Battle Royal at WrestleMania. You had Jinder Mahal and some others in there. So you're trying to think, okay, is this going to be a predictable match that Dolph Ziggler or one of the other bigger names in there would win?
Right.
Like they had Luke Harper, who they've been pushing. But no, it was Jinder Mahal pulling out and they had Sami Zayn in there too. Jinder Mahal pulling out the victory to become the number one contender for the world title. Who would have ever seen that coming? Jinder Mahal, someone who's been off and on shows, and then now has come back jacked, as you would say, and has been looking pretty good lately.
And that's why they did it. Because he revitalized his entire body, his entire physique.
Well, I don't think it's just that. I think it's SmackDown's thing that Shane McMahon likes to say is, Shane and Daniel Bryan say, SmackDown is the land of opportunity. If you come here and you win your matches and you show us you are busting your butt, we're going to give you the opportunity. And to me, that's telling me you're going to see matches that you would not have thought would have happened with number one contenders going up against these big name guys and stuff like that for an opportunity.
Right.
And when it happened, mine was blown, like, wow, did not ever see that coming. And that's what makes a wrestling show great, is if you can't predict what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And all I see is prediction on Raw. Oh, yeah, saw that coming.
Well, I think it's time to get rid of the 3-hour show.
Yeah.
3 hours is too long. That's why SmackDown's so much better right now, because it's only 2 hours. You don't need 3-hour shows every Monday night. It's just not necessary. Because now you have to fill up 3 hours with a bunch of garbage.
Well, I think that's where they have the whole cruiserweight division coming into play, where they put that into the show too, because you'll probably get 1 or 2 cruiserweight matches out of that too, because with Raw being 3 hours, they have a more expanded roster because they have the cruiserweight division, so they can expand it. I mean, the cruiserweight division, even has their own show at 205
Well,
Live.
think about this. How many matches do you get out of Raw?
Probably about 8 or 9.
How many matches do you get out of SmackDown?
Between 6 and 8.
So it's the same amount of matches in 3 hours and versus 2
Yeah,
hours.
it's because what they're doing on Raw is they're developing the promo more.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the problem I see. Don't develop stuff on the big show.
Yeah.
Develop that in NXT. Develop that in, behind the scenes kind of stuff. They don't need a 3-hour show. They just don't need it.
Yeah.
People want to watch wrestling. They want to watch people talk for 2 hours.
Well, so with the Jinder Mahal thing, I just want to mention too. So what they're doing is, it's not just him who won the match. I think it's Sami Zayn's lining up for the Huluva kick. And then these two guys from India also come in and are holding Sami Zayn's legs down. And I guess they're followers of Jinder Mahal now because they've been on back-to-back shows with him. So it's like his little... So makes me nervous.
The entourage.
Yeah, so all I'm thinking is this is what's going to happen next month at Backlash is Randy Orton's going to face Jinder, and Jinder's going to win because of these guys.
Oh, probably.
It's like, I don't want to see that happen. I want to see Jinder try to prove himself against one of the greatest of all time in Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. The other great thing that happened was the week after, Shane and Daniel announced they're going to have a Beat the Clock challenge. The first time we've had a Beat the Clock challenge. You remember the Beat the Clock challenges?
Of course.
But tag team Beat the Clock challenges. So you had 4 different tag teams trying to beat the clock, and whoever has the fastest time will have number 1 contender shot. And it was Breezango. So Tyler Breeze and Fandango winning Beat the Clock.
That's
cool. The one tag team, again, you didn't see coming. To me, to face the Usos, it was going to be either American Alpha, who they've been having a little rivalry going on with, or some other big-name tag team that's on the show.
Right.
Not the Fashion Police, as they like to call each other.
That's a cool gimmick. They should keep it up.
And they didn't just beat the time. They beat it by a good 2.5 minutes. I mean, whew. So Breezango is the new number 1 contenders. Now, do we see Breezango or Jinder Mahal coming out of Backlash as champions? Or is this just one of these plays where we'll give it to you, where it's a mind-blowing thing, didn't see it coming, but at the pay-per-view, you're going to take the loss?
I see Bazongo actually winning, honestly. It's a really cool gimmick for the 2 tag teams, for that tag team. I have been seeing them a lot. They do try real hard, and they do take a lot of backseat, slapstick stuff in the ring, for
They're going to
matches.
beat the Usos?
What?
They're going to beat the Usos, you're saying?
I mean, how big are the Usos getting over right now as a heel tag team?
The Usos are pretty good as a heel. They've done it before. You got to remember, they came into the business as a heel.
Right. But I thought they did a lot better as a face.
Oh, the fans love it as a face, but their gimmick as a heel isn't that bad either.
No?
No. They're still showing the same wrestling ability as they did as a heel and a face.
So they don't change the wrestling style. That's good.
They added one extra thing, which is a submission.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
But they still do the super kicks, the Samoan drops, the superfly splashes. So yeah.
And how long do they have the title for?
They've had it for, I think it was before WrestleMania. It was like a week or 2 before WrestleMania. So about a month and a half.
Yeah, with that timeline, maybe not. Maybe it might end at a DQ. Mm-hmm. Too.
And then they had, with the Superstar Shakeup, they had the Shining Stars, Epico and Primo, come over to SmackDown.
Yep.
They have officially, it looks like, gotten rid of the Shining Stars name, and they're just going to the Colognes.
The Colognes?
Well, because Epico and Primo are Colognes. Carlito and all them.
Just a silly name, so.
I know. But it's like, how many times are they going to change their names?
Colognes.
First, they just had Epico and Primo. Then they were the Luchadores, with the Matador and all that. Then the Shining Stars. Now the Cologne. It's like...
It's silly.
So, what they need is Carlito to come back and be the leader of a faction.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly right.
But that's it for WWE, besides getting into Payback. So, TNA is where it's at.
Let me ask you a question for you on TNA right now.
Yes.
Is it true that Evan Bourne is on TNA?
I'm getting to there.
Oh, that's what I heard.
So, the biggest thing in TNA right now is the X Division. One of my favorite X Division stars came back about a month ago. I keep forgetting to mention it, but Suicide is back in TNA.
Okay.
I mean, if no one knows who Suicide is, Suicide's development began in the TNA video game. It's just a character that showed up that they just made, and it was so popular in the game, they actually have the wrestler now, Suicide. So he's back. I'm so excited about that. But they had a 6-man battle for the X Division title a couple weeks ago, and we had 2 former X Division stars who were there day 1 in TNA come back. Sanjay Dutt.
He's back?
He's back.
Oh.
And Loki. Remember Loki?
Loki's back too?
Loki is back. Loki won the match and is now a 5-time X Division champion. So this is what I like with the whole Impact thing, trying to make it great again, how it was back in the day. Bring back those guys who we want to see.
Yeah.
So maybe a Jay Lethal coming back.
I doubt it.
No? So, yes, you are correct. Last week on TNA, or I should say Impact, he's not Evan Bourne. He goes to his original name that he had in Ring of Honor also, which is Matt Sydal. And it was so great seeing him again. I've seen him bits and pieces in Ring of Honor, but he is going to be a star in the X Division.
Oh, I bet.
So, I don't know if you know who Crazy Steve is.
Yeah.
So, rumor is he has signed a contract with NXT. So he'll be showing up in NXT sometime soon.
As the same gimmick? Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Same gimmick would be so great.
I don't know. Well, because right now he's Crazy Steve, but in TNA, because TNA's taped prior back.
Honestly, naturally doesn't even exist anymore, right?
No, that hasn't been around for a while.
No.
He was just regular Crazy Steve in the X Division. Then he started tag teaming with Abyss, and they became Decay, where Abyss doesn't wear his mask anymore, but they have this like rotted painting face paint.
I've seen it, yeah.
And apparently they've now split because he's left, and apparently Abyss, the rumor is going back to the whole Joseph Park thing.
Oh.
I'm like, just stay Abyss with the mask, and it would be great that way. So, but yeah, if Crazy Steve comes to NXT, I mean, I don't know, we'll see. We already have one crazy guy.
What NXT needs is to keep Crazy Steve as that same gimmick.
They might, because they have Eric Young there, and Eric Young, when he showed up, kept his gimmick as the heel from TNA and brought that over to NXT, and it's the exact same gimmick. He just has his faction now called Sanity. So maybe Crazy Steve goes with Sanity. Who knows?
Honestly, I think what the wrestling world needs now is more characters. And I'm talking about like your Randy Ortons and your Bray Wyatts. I'm talking about like actual character gimmicks, guys like coming out dressed like a clown, ready to fight, you know? And
yes,
things like that. That's what we need to get back to the basics.
Yes and no. There were these guys in the 80s where they had stupid gimmicks like this plumber coming out with a plunger. And
it's so great.
We don't need stupid gimmicks. You'll even say, Luke Gallows, for instance, right now in the club. You hated his original gimmick as Festus.
It was silly.
We don't need stupid crap like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Silly.
I don't mind seeing the good gimmicks, but I don't want to see stupid things like that.
No.
And then when the bell rings, he goes nuts and stuff like that.
Watch old school WCW and watch all the crazy gimmicks that come out there. Those guys, like Glacier, was fantastic. He came out of the ring, looked like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but that was okay,
great.
But it's the stupid thing.
Oh, the dumb gimmicks that try to make a
and
laugh,
WCW had a lot.
Pop,
WCW also had a lot of stupid gimmicks as it is too.
And you know, Disco Inferno was fantastic.
You can say so.
I will say so. I was a huge Disco Inferno fan.
So, TNA though, props, 2 thumbs up. You guys are doing amazing. I look forward every Thursday night to watching TNA.
It sounds like they're trying to get back up there again.
I'm loving it. They need to work now on the Knockouts division. It needs to get a little bit better. I think I told you ODB's back, so that's great.
Yes, she'll help out.
So, we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
Is that it for Wrestling World?
That's it for Wrestling World. I know we took a lot of time there.
We did, but it was fun.
Box office. I'd like to get to that.
You want to do box office first?
Yeah, before Flareverse.
Sure, we can do that. Absolutely.
I'm going number 3. I'm going with The Boss Baby because I think it was spring break. A lot of kids probably went to the movie theater. I'm going number 2. This movie called The Circle. I've seen it on TV a couple times. The promo. It's got Emma Watson and Tom Hanks in it. Number 1. I'm staying with Fate and the Furious still.
I had a lot of problems with this box office.
Oh God.
I'm hoping when I did the research on this, the website I used didn't update it, because 2 of the movies I never even heard of before.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3 at 10 million. I can't even pronounce it. It is Bahubali 2. I don't know, some sort of sequel from an indie film.
Okay.
I don't even know how they came on the list at all, but apparently people want to go see it. The second one is How to Be a Latin Lover.
I saw that on the list of movies that came out, but I didn't really think that'd make it.
12 million. Wow. But I mean, you have Selma Hayek and Rob Lowe in it. So, that's good characters. And my guess is kind of like the Love Guru with Mike Myers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of like that. But number 1, happily, Fate and the Furious at 19 mil.
Dang, I did horrible in this.
Like I said, man, I didn't even heard of number 2 and 3.
I can honestly state, so it made 19 million, Fate and the Furious. We'll say it probably will still do well in the next couple weeks. But we have this weekend Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming out. Mm-hmm. That's going to be number 1. So.
But skip to Vin Diesel for being our hero 2 weeks in a row. That's very impressive, huh?
Yeah.
And Guardians has already surpassed pre-order tickets of Age of Ultron.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the biggest movie of the year. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's going to be huge.
Spider-Man Homecoming?
I think Guardians of the Galaxy got it.
I'm trying to think what else is coming out. We have in a couple weeks, in about a month, at the end of May when we film, we'll have our summer movies to go over. So
we'll reevaluate this question later, but yeah, I think...
You don't think at the end of this month Baywatch is going to do well? I honestly think Baywatch is going to do bigger in the box office than you actually think.
Oh, I think it's going to do fantastic. Because, I mean, it's Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron.
Opening week, how much is it going to make? We'll make this prediction again, because I said Fate and the Furious was going to make over 100 million, and it did.
We're talking about box office numbers for the weekend?
Or, I'm trying to think how we worded it. Was it for the...
What's the opening weekend box office numbers?
And that's worldwide. And I think worldwide...
we can't do worldwide because it's going to be released in all countries.
Okay.
So we can only just...
But I think Fate and the Furious did make over 100 million.
Yeah.
It was like 110 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 125. Baywatch, I'm going to say opening weekend, 25 million.
25 million?
Yeah. Well, you're saying Fate and the Furious only made 19 this week.
Yeah, Facebook's been out for a while, though.
No, I know.
And they're still bringing $19 million numbers.
I just think
It's been out for a
Baywatch.
while.
I just think a lot of people are going to go see Baywatch.
I think Baywatch can do well. I think they're going to do like 50.
There we go.
think
We
they
have
do
it on
well.
record. I said 25, you say 50.
I think they're going to do well.
We'll see.
I mean, it's been a while since seen Zac Efron on the big screen.
Last year, actually. I think it was last year.
Bad Grandpa. But I mean,
that movie was hilarious.
Terrible.
That movie was hilarious.
Terrible.
Moving on, because I know we don't have all the time in the world here. We have some Flareoverse talk about here.
Yes, Flareverse came back for a couple episodes. Supergirl, I didn't even watch it, don't even care.
It wasn't that great of an episode. So.
I didn't miss anything.
The only thing that is good that comes out of it is we might...
The ending credits?
At the end. You had Rena, which is Mon-El's mother.
Yep.
She showed up at Lena's office, Lex Luthor's sister, and wants to talk about Supergirl.
Of course she does.
So the prediction is, are we going to start to see Lena become Lex and now go after Supergirl?
We just need to see Lex come in the picture.
Oh,
I
have to say, so I know Supergirl for you is going downhill, but the last 2 episodes, I think they said, Superman comes back for the last 2 episodes because Zod is coming into play for season 3.
I heard Zod's coming for season 3.
Because they had pictures of the guy who's playing Zod for those episodes on set. I forgot who they said it was. But, so there you go. We're going to have Zod as maybe a Zod and a Xena, and not Xena, Rena.
Zod and Xena.
Yeah.
I like it.
Zod and Rena teaming up to go after Superman and Supergirl.
Could be.
So, Flash. That's what Sue said.
Flash. Let me tell you about Flash. I have it written down perfect for you, okay? Flash. Trip to the future to see Gothic Barry done the right way.
So,
because we have Gothic Barry Allen coming to the Justice League, and it looks terrible. This Gothic Barry Allen is done the perfect
we
way.
have to start like this. We could talk about this entire episode all day.
Oh, we definitely
The
could.
title was perfect. The Once and Future Flash.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice touch. But summing it up real quick, travels to the year 2024 because that's where the newspaper article that we've seen since episode 1 states Flash vanishes.
Yep.
Okay? We kind of find out why. He doesn't really does his Flash work after the death. You have now Cisco with mechanical hands because he lost him in a fight with Killer Frost, and he now can't use his powers because he can't vibe. Joe is wicked depressed because Barry abandoned him after the death of Iris. Not Barry.
Let's talk
Wally.
about this right here. Wally West. Why is he still paralyzed?
Because they stated in the fight with Savitar, crippled his spine. He broke it into like a crap load of pieces.
Okay.
You can't come. I know.
Okay.
Flash powers, you can revive things, but maybe the spine is different. Maybe that's how you destroy Flash.
Is that what we're gonna go with?
I don't know.
Maybe it's different.
Maybe Wally
How many
hasn't.
times Flash broke his leg and like 10 minutes later he's running around the city again?
I don't know. Maybe Wally hasn't figured out how to heal himself. And
Point being that Wally should not be paralyzed any longer.
And Julian is working at Iron Heights as Caitlin's little guard, kind of.
Yeah.
And Caitlin is Killer Frost. We learned she tag team basically with Savitar.
Teamed up with Savitar.
So she knows the identity of Savitar. That's why Barry went to the past, but he doesn't get the answers. But he stays to help rebuild Team Flash. And the best thing about that was when the Future Flash shows up to help him. I loved the Future Flash suit. Was amazing the way it looked.
Did you see the mistake and camera angle they made in that episode?
No.
When you had past Flash and Future Flash standing next to each other.
Okay.
Future Flash was taller
Did not see that.
by like 5 inches.
Maybe it's the suit.
It's the suit that we're going with?
Maybe. But what did you think of the suit? It was a nice touch the way
It looked amazing.
it did.
I loved it.
Because the suit we have now, it's just really dark red, wicked dark red. This one was a little bit more brighter color.
Yeah.
So it was a great touch. He finds out there's this doctor who she's the one who helps Future Flash trap Savitar. So he's like, okay, well, I'll go back, talk to her, see how she finds out the stuff. He says she doesn't figure out how to do it until 4 years later. But he gives him the file to give to this lady if he can find her in the past to try to maybe hurry up and get this figured out before Iris dies in another month. We'll see. Before I get to, I wanted to mention I have this little thing who we think Savitar is.
Yes.
Because when he takes off the suit for Killer Frost, I'm like, come on, show it.
I know.
Because they did it in Arrow, where they show you that Adrian Chase is Prometheus right at the end. I wanted to see it. We'll probably
I was like,
get it.
here you. Oh, come on.
We'll probably get it this week.
I hope so.
But these are this article I read. These are the top 7 predictions who Savitar is. At number 7, we have Jay Garrick.
Okay.
He's trapped in the Speed Force. Maybe it could be him. You don't know. Number 6, this is who I think it is. Just because the look on Caitlin Killer Frost's face when she sees it, Ronnie Raymond.
That's what I thought last night, too.
Because when he goes into the vortex, that could be the Speed Force.
When I saw her face, I was like, it's Ronnie.
The thing is, if it is Ronnie, what I don't like is he comes back in the comics after going into that black hole. He comes back in the comics as an evil firestorm.
Yeah.
And we get that in Flashpoint.
Yep.
Or was it Earth? No, it was Earth 2. We get it. So, I don't know. That's number 6. Number 5 is Eddie Thawne. Yes, he died, but maybe he comes back somehow. I don't know. Number 4, a lot of people think it's this. H.R. Wells.
Ooh.
Now, they say, because remember, when he goes to the future, he sees Wells up on top of the building with a gun pointed towards Savitar. But, like people have stated, speedsters can make copies of themselves. Could be H.R. Wells. At number 3, we have Julian Albert. Is Julian Alchemy and Savitar? Maybe. Number 2, this one, I just don't see it happening. Wally West.
Oh, no, it's not Wally.
This one is the one you kind of think, I don't know. Future Barry Allen.
That's what I said.
That is the number one thought. Is
Here's
it's
the
future
list.
Barry
Here's
Allen.
what I think. It's going to be Barry. Because that's my number one pick. I already chose that, 4 weeks ago I called that?
I've thought it, since Savitar showed up, I've thought it's always been Robbie since day one.
Really?
Because I'm
But
thinking.
you never mentioned that.
Well, I don't mention all my things, but I thought it was when he went into the Speed Force, but I didn't realize when watching the trailer that's where he went in, and I saw Robbie show up. I'm like, holy crap, Robbie is coming back, and he's Savitar kind of thing. But it was just the Speed Force playing with his mind.
No, it's either Barry. I like H.R. Wells. I love the fact that it could be Harrison Wells. Mm-hmm. That's a really good one.
He's played the villain. The actual characters played a villain multiple times.
It's a really good one. And until last night, I never would have thought it would be Ronnie. But after seeing Caitlin's face,
her jaw drops.
I was like, ooh, maybe it is Ronnie.
I mean,
so it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah. So,
but I'm gonna stick with Barry. I still think it's future Barry Allen.
Barry?
I really do.
I just don't get why he would kill his love interest.
Oh, the story's gonna pick up.
So, Flash this season has just been so good.
Yeah.
Moving on to Arrow. We had the one episode, but we're going back just quickly 2 episodes ago because I hadn't caught up by the last.
Which is titled?
Yeah, disbanded.
That's right.
Obviously, you can figure out he disbands Team Arrow. But Team Arrow kind of stays together on the side, which is pretty neat, disobeying Oliver.
Well, yeah.
Because Oliver now sends the Broadfa off to kill Adrian Chase, and Team Arrow stops the Broadfa. And it's not until Felicity and Curtis get together and scramble Adrian's face on a security camera where he's unveiling himself as Prometheus when they decide to get back together and go after him. He kills the FBI people that are holding him, and he's on the run.
Yeah.
So the big thing to come out of this is the whole, to me, Oliver versus the Broadfa thing now. Mm-hmm. I mean, that whole relationship is officially gone.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
coming back from that.
No. So, anything you want to add to that quickly before I move on to the next one?
No.
Then we had the next Arrow episode, which, to me, it wasn't the greatest episode, but what came out of it was the whole Helix situation and Felicity.
Yes.
Felicity basically...
This was a strong episode.
It was a strong Felicity episode.
It's a strong episode altogether.
She basically throws Team Arrow to the curb.
Yeah.
And works with Helix to get rid to break out a guy by the name of Caden James from Argus, who has a scrambler where he can find anybody on Earth with. She fights Team Arrow in this breakout, and that's what's funny is she goes back to Helix, and they've decided to say, "Bye, Felicity. We've used you." Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Was this a play from the beginning? Did Helix play her since day one? Or is it true what they're saying is you're too close to your team to get involved with us right now? We're afraid your team and Argus are going to come after us even closer with you. Or were they playing her from day one?
In my opinion, it's probably just played from day one.
Yeah. That girl who she met, it's hard to say because her talking to Felicity over the monitor, she seemed very heartbroken that they had to do it to Felicity, because I think Felicity really is like the role model for her.
Yeah.
But they do stand to their word and give Felicity the scanner. Felicity comes back to Team Arrow, and it's almost like Oliver's like, "What are you doing in our hideout? You basically told me screw you."
Yeah.
But she uses the scanner, and it ends where they find out Adrian is actually in their hideout right now, and boom, the episode ends. The whole place blows up. So it's getting pretty interesting with Prometheus and the whole character development with him. Me, I want to see more of Evelyn. I want to see her come back. Mm-hmm. I want to see how that relationship's going to mend, because I do feel like she's going to become not Arsenal, but what's her code name? It was because she's, I forget what they call her.
I don't think she's gonna come back at all.
No.
No.
You don't see that character coming back for anything?
Not really.
No. Did you want to talk that? Unless you want to add anything else for Arrow.
No.
We didn't get to talk about, because I hadn't watched the last 3 episodes of Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. You didn't.
Do you want to quickly go through it?
If you want to, man, go ahead.
So, these were the best 3 episodes of Legends of Tomorrow this season. And Legends of Tomorrow has been amazing this season.
It's been a great show.
It was titled, the 3rd episode of this finale, kind of, which was great. It was titled The Fellowship of the Spear, which was great because they got J.R.R. Tolkien, the creator of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. His character was
in the show,
which was awesome. Nice little touch there and everything. I loved this. It should have been just a 3-parter, all titled Part 1, 2, and 3, because it was back to back to back kind of thing, how they set it up. They find out how to destroy the spear. They need to get the blood of Christ, which keeps getting blown up in the war area. And it comes to find out that Reverse Flash gets the spear and uses it to recreate his universe. But before that, they tell us how Captain Cold's character came back. Legion of Doom went back in time, got him before Rip Hunter did.
Yep.
So they got the evil Captain Cold.
Yeah.
So that's how he comes to become Legion of Doom. Move on now to the new reality.
Are we going to keep Captain Cold in the series now, or what? Is he going to come back to the Flash?
I have heard that his character somehow is going to be in a Flash episode coming up.
It's fantastic.
Because I don't want to see his character just die.
No.
Because at the end, I'll talk about for the audience here what they do with him at the end.
I think his character is amazing.
Yeah. Well, so now everyone's minds have been erased, but they get their minds back, kind of thing, and they're trying to fight the Legion of Doom. Unfortunately, Amaya gets killed by Captain Cold, and Thawne drops the spear in this little radioactive thing, destroys it, and the team does the one rule they're never supposed to do, and that is go back to time where they've already been.
Yes.
Which is I think like 1918, there was a war going on, something like that. They go back, so now they're actually time remnants of themselves, and time is getting all messed up.
This is when it gets really confusing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, we can summarize the whole episode, or we cannot. Now we have time remnants. So you have 2 copies of the legends right now.
Yeah.
All right. And it's just crazy to keep track of who is the original legends and who is the time remnants of the legends. Because now the team is mixed up between both.
Yeah. I mean, you get these sad moments in it because the time remnant parts get killed off here and there. But just to sum it up, they work with each other. Sarah, the real Sarah, gets the spear, and she does the right thing, and she alters reality where the spear never existed, which now puts time back in its regular spot. And what's awesome about this is Reverse Flash brings like 100 Reverse Flashes throughout time to that one spot. But when she does this, the Zoom, his evil zombie
The Great
Zoom,
Flash.
yeah, he just shows up. And I wanted Sarah to say this to Reverse Flash so bad. I wanted her to say, "Run, Flash, run," kind of thing. But that Black Flash just shows up and just sucks up Reverse Flash kind of thing. Yep. Nice little touch. It ends with them, okay, we've saved the world. All that's happening. And they let Rory say where we're going next. And he's always wanted to go to Aruba. So he says Aruba 2017, but they get transferred to Los Angeles 2017 because time's messed up, because they went back to a time they weren't supposed to go back to.
Nope.
And you have dinosaurs in Los Angeles. You have buildings from different times. So time really is all messed up.
All messed. I love that finish. But now, I mean, in this team now, we have time remnants and the original legends filled up with the team now.
Well, no, the time remnants all disappeared.
Not all of them.
Well, which one stayed?
Vixen's original died, so you have her time remnant is now part of the team.
It's getting confusing now.
Exactly. You had to really pay attention to which one was part of the original team and which one was the Time Revenants. There was 3 of them that were Time Revenants that are part of the original team now.
Okay.
It's crazy.
The big thing that comes out of it, too, is Rip Hunter leaves the team, takes a ship and goes off. But you posted an article online talking about Booster Gold maybe coming into the fray of Legends of Tomorrow. So I looked up where he could fit in, and they've mentioned this already in a little Easter egg in an episode. They mentioned Rip Hunter's real name is Michael.
Yeah.
And Booster Gold's name is Michael.
Well, Rip Hunter is Booster Gold's son.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
So that's where we might see Booster Gold come in as Rip Hunter's father. So, and they said the Miz might play it, which you are all
in a movie. How cool would that be?
You're all ecstatic. That
is Miz's character right there.
We'll see. To end the Flareoverse, because I know we're busting out time here.
We are.
The big news to come out of this was a Flareoverse, as we call it, but they call it Arrowverse. Character is not coming back for any of the shows for their next seasons. So seasons 3 of Legends and Supergirl, 4 of Flash, and 6 of Arrow. And that is John Barrowman, who plays Malcolm Merlyn.
Yep.
So a very big character in the Arrowverse is not coming back. Your feelings?
He's got to be doing something big right now then. Probably something to do with Doctor Who, I would assume.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Malcolm Merlyn to me is one of those characters where I love how he interacts in all the shows.
You love to hate the guy, don't you?
Yeah, but he's a great villain.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You love to hate him. He's awesome.
I feel like I want to see more of him come back, but I think with Arrow, for instance, we're going to dive more into the League of Assassins again.
Oh, yeah.
Because the whole introduction to Talia, or was it Nessa?
No, Talia.
Talia, okay. So I think we'll deal with that, and I'm wondering if we're going to see Ra's al Ghul come back somehow.
That'd be kind of cool, right?
So, before we move on to the main event, I do want to mention a superhero TV show came back from its mid-season finale break, and that is Gotham. It was an amazing episode. The problem is there's rumors that this will be the last season of Gotham, and they're almost playing how it's turning out, playing like it might be. You have the Court of Owls, I've told you, have come into play, and they've got Bruce Wayne's clone, which you've told me the story about that, which is his half-brother. He is now, the Court of Owls have now put him into Bruce Wayne's identity. They've kidnapped Bruce Wayne and sent him off, and at the end of the last episode, he sees out of his prison cell like the Himalayan mountains. And all I'm thinking is League of Assassins. That's where they sent him. So that's making me wonder if it's coming to an end soon, where, okay, now we're getting to where we're ending things, and now it's going to skip.
My problem, Gotham could have been so much better if they just kept the Bruce Wayne name out of it.
Yeah.
You know, let it be about Jim Gordon and just Jim Gordon. It would have been a great show.
Which they kind of almost do, because the last episode, the Riddler, Edward Nygma, becomes the Riddler. He says, my name is the Riddler now. And he's doing a lot of the question marks. He got the top hat, all that stuff. And he's looking for an adversary, someone that's going to always fight him back, and he wants it to be James Gordon. And he's trying to do it, but it doesn't end up playing out to be that. It ends up being Lucius Fox. Is his, because Lucius solves all his riddles.
Yeah.
So
now, Gotham just could have been better if they just kept the Wayne name out of it.
Yeah. The problem is it's on Fox. It's on one of these stations where TV shows don't last that long anymore.
No, they don't.
Gotham's into season 3 or 4 right now, which is a long time for a show on a big name network. So that's it for me right now on superhero stuff. Well, I don't know how much time we got left, but I know we have a main event to get to.
We do. I want to mention this because it was kind of weird that it's mentioned now, as our main event is the Defenders.
Yes.
Sylvester Stallone has been introduced into the MCU world. He's playing a character called the Stalker, which is a.k.a. Starhawk. That character was first appeared in the Defenders comic number 27.
Okay.
All right. He's also going to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 movie as a cameo. So that's kind of cool to see Sylvester Stallone into the universe, finally. We have so many big 90s action heroes coming into the universe. very exciting stuff for that.
Yeah.
Netflix, Marvel.
So we should mention Defenders. If you haven't seen the crappy...
We're going to go over this.
Okay.
We're going to go over all of this as much as we can. We're going to talk about Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. You saw all of these?
Yep.
I've missed out on the last episode of Iron Fist.
Which was amazing.
What I've noticed so far, these episodes are 2 villains per season. Have you noticed that? That genre? Yeah. Defenders. Who do you think the villain's going to be?
Well, it's already been named. Sigourney Weaver is going to play.
One of them.
So that's the only thing I know. And she's a member of the Hand.
Yeah.
So,
my guess is the Hand's going to play a huge part in this again.
Oh, massive part.
Huge part.
I mean, it's already been in 2, Daredevil and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, I'm interested in how they're going to introduce all 4 characters on the first episode.
Yeah, I think
they probably should have started hinting off of it.
Well, they kind of did at the end of Luke Cage when Claire says, I know a really good lawyer. So, and Fish, the guy who Luke Cage is with, trying to rebuild Pops' barbershop, finds the paperwork that proves Luke Cage's innocence on the floor. So he probably gives those to Matt Murdock. And I guarantee it's going to start with Matt and Luke Cage getting out of a car somewheres together because he just got him off. Got him off trial.
Man, I saw the lineup for the Defender show, though. I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, they're bringing back literally every... they have the main characters, obviously, but every small cast character from each show, they're bringing back.
Foggy's going to be in it? How cool is that?
Yeah, Elektra.
Electra's going to be back. I'm not really excited about that.
I mean, you got Claire.
Stick is going to be in there. Well, Claire's got to be in there.
Yeah, Misty Knight's going to be in it. I mean, the one thing I've liked about these Marvel shows is the little touches to the old school looks of the characters. You had Luke Cage in the yellow jumpsuit and all that stuff and the hair in one episode that's going back to his comic. You had Misty Knight with the giant afro in one episode. Even Jessica Jones, when she was first coming into being her superhero, she was named Jewel, and she had this whole dress up and shows her that in her apartment building.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, this isn't me.
No.
My thing is I really wanted to see Misty Knight when she got shot in the shoulder and lost all the blood. Misty Knight's character has like a robotic arm.
Yep.
And all I'm thinking is, okay, she's saying she's losing feeling. They're going to have to amputate it, and she's going to get that mechanical arm. But that didn't happen.
What could happen in Defenders? Who knows?
Yeah. But speaking of suits, do you think Iron Fist gets his suit at the end of the episode like in Daredevil Season 1? Because, I mean, I can tell you right now if he does or doesn't.
Is it really a suit, though? It's just clothes.
Okay, let me just say, I'm sorry. No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I am very ticked off because I wanted that Iron Fist look. I wanted it to come into play somehow.
But, I mean, Cage, you only saw Luke Cage in the original suit for
but Luke Cage and Jessica
30
Jones...
minutes.
Luke Cage and Jessica Jones don't really have, like, a mask and stuff like that, a hidden identity. Whereas the others do, and we got that out of Daredevil at the end of Season 1. I wanted to see that in Season 2, or at the end of Season 1.
Right.
But we didn't.
No.
So it was a little upsetting. I wonder if... So they have the character Davos. He's the guy who is usually friends with Danny in their place. He does become a supervillain because if you look up his bio and stuff online, he becomes this guy called the Steel Serpent. Maybe he comes into play somewheres?
He could be the first half villain of Defenders. Who knows? Because
it kind of reminded me of at the end of Doctor Strange where you have, I forget the guy's name, who was Doctor Strange's partner, kind of.
Yeah.
And he becomes a villain because he's killing off all the people at the end. That's Davos. Marvel has it 2 different ways with people of special powers, I guess, the mystic powers. And if you remember in an episode, these 3 ladies that are selling off this new thing of heroin, and it's got this... It looks like the dragon on Danny's chest minus the wings. I looked up Davos when he becomes the Steel Serpent. That's his logo.
Right.
It's a serpent is what it looks like. So does that come into play? I mean...
You never know.
I think it might happen more in Season 2. I think the whole Defenders miniseries is all going to focus on Sigourney Weaver's character mostly.
Maybe. I mean, all these shows have, 2 villains, That's part I was like, I don't know.
I don't know. Did Jessica Jones, I don't think did. She had just the purple guy.
She had
Purple Man.
Purple Man.
I think that's what they called him.
Purple Man. That's what he's in the comic. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Then you have that rogue cop, right?
Oh yeah, that was towards the end, so I think he's going to show up in season 2 mostly. Yeah. And then Daredevil, you had Wilson Fisk in season 1, and season 2 it was the Hand.
It was Punisher at first, then the Hand.
Yeah, but are you counting Punisher more as a villain or as side?
I'm saying he's a storyline, yeah.
Okay. I mean, to me, it was mostly season 2 is the whole.
Season 2 for Daredevil really just I did not.
I think it mostly it devoted more towards the development of the Hand than anything.
I mean, Punisher was a cool character and all, but I mean, it's like it's Daredevil. Let's focus on Daredevil stuff right now, and I don't want to see Elektra the way she was. She was terrible.
Yeah, not an Elektra fan.
I would have been if it was done right. In my eyes, I just think it was done right.
Getting back on, because we've talked about Daredevil and Jessica Jones a lot because it happened so long ago. Luke Cage, what do you see the goods and the bads coming out of it?
The show itself?
Yeah, because fans loved Luke Cage. The ratings for Luke Cage are very high.
Did you like it?
Not the beginning. The ending when they introduce Diamondback, great touch. And then you show the guy who gave Luke Cage his powers. He ends up in the hospital with Diamondback, so we might see more into that.
Yeah.
Iron Fist to me, again, slow in the beginning, but great at the end.
It was slow.
So, fans hated Iron Fist though. That's the thing.
There wasn't a flow to it, There's something off about that show. I'm not sure. I think it had a lot to do with Ward. I think Ward is what kind of threw the show off of me.
Yeah. So, I know we're running out of time. Defenders, what do you think? It's an 8-part series. Good or bad? Are you excited for it? Not excited?
I'll watch it, but I'm not going to devote time to binge watch it.
Yeah. I am and I'm not. I'm kind of excited because it's this little version of what we see up front here with the Avengers, Defenders. So I'm kind of excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah. I'm more excited about season 2 of Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Because out of those 4 shorts, I think Jessica Jones was my favorite.
Okay.
What was yours?
Mine, Jessica Jones.
Yeah. It was a good show, right?
Yeah.
It was a solid show from beginning to end.
Yeah. So just to cap our little Marvel Universe thing, I know we didn't get to talk about it much. We talked a lot about Floriverse.
Oh, man, it's huge.
If you don't have the date down out there, August 18th, the Defenders miniseries airs on Netflix. You can binge watch it, do whatever you want. And like I said, it's a miniseries, so it's only 8 episodes compared to the normal 13. But we're running out of time, so we want to thank all our fans like normally for watching. Don't forget this episode and every other episode you can watch on our YouTube page and our Facebook page at Legends of the Nerds. So follow us and subscribe. Follow us on the Twitter at KrillinMan. And
I'm doing surveys on there too now.
Surveys, okay. And we don't, I believe, have anything for our next show planned. But like I mentioned, we do have coming up the summer movies you need to watch. So we're very excited for that. We may have a Guardians of the Galaxy review coming up in the next couple shows. We got to figure out if we're going to go see it or not. So, yeah, don't forget. That comes out this weekend. He thinks it's going to be the biggest movie of this year.
I think it's going to be.
We'll see what happens. But thanks for watching. And remember, stay nerdy.